Secret number 3 is how to reduce your client's response to your initial queries as being nothing's happening. I don't feel anything. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't think EMDR works for me. We want to try to avoid those kind of responses to our initial queries. So it's really important to explain to the client what they can expect once a processing starts. So I'm sure you all do a role induction right before the client starts. Shapiro, don't try to make anything happen. Don't try to do anything. Just allow whatever wants to happen. We all say that to our clients, so we kind of help explain, what the process is like. But I think an important piece that is often not included in our role induction is to remind the client that the unconscious can sort of connect in random kind of ways. And so it's important for the client to understand that they may have these thoughts that don't seem to be related to what they're working on today, and that you are interested in knowing what those thoughts are. So at the initial role induction, I usually will include those kind of instructions and let them know that, listen, I know, we're working on this car accident, but if you find yourself, in second grade on a school bus talking to a friend, and I ask, what are you noticing? I want to know about you being in second grade. That is not unimportant. So I don't want you to think that that's not important. So there's really nothing going on, because this isn't really about this accident I was in. So it's really important for the client to understand that the processing is often not logical. It often is. Sometimes it just moves chronologically through the event, and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes these random things start to show up. And if you have some, awareness of psychoanalytic material, it's valuable. Of course, if you see the work from a somatic, kind of emphasis or an emotional, then that's not, it's not valued maybe for the therapist, but the client needs to know that that's something. And even if you're not really going to work with it, you want them to report that to you. So it's really important that the client, right when the session begins, right before you start that first stimulation, that they understand that there could be these random thoughts, and that you're interested in those just as much as you're interested in the material related to the car accident or whatever it is that you're targeted. So if you explain that to the client, the way that this works is we don't do any talking, and sometimes these random thoughts show up. And if I stop and ask you, what are you noticing? And you're thinking about being in a Little League game when you were 12, I want to know that. I want to hear about that Little League game. Don't edit and say, well, that's not related to this, so I'm not going to tell Dobo that. So it's important just to share that with your client, and just a little understanding about how this sort of random things can just kind of show up. Just like body sensations, all these different things, it connects in all these different ways. So the more that you can explain on the front end before you start stimulation, the more success you'll have, a better understanding of that the client will have about what exactly is required of them, and what they're really kind of waiting to happen. Sometimes I think when we talk about EMDR, they think the skies are going to open up, and angels are going to be singing, and this crazy thing's going to happen. When then a lot of times they need to be reminded that sometimes it's just very subtle, and it's slow, and it's not very dramatic, but it's still working perfectly. So that's secret number 3, is make sure you really explain sort of how random thoughts can kind of show up in a person's processing, and that you're just as interested in those as you are interested in thoughts and feelings and images related to the event, so that they don't think that nothing's going on when actually something is going on, and it may be something that's very important.